We have to. We don't have a choice. We actually have to work on different crises at the same time, and we have been able to do this before. But what we have to understand that all these wars, they are also not good for the climate. I mean, everybody understands that, and even, I mean, in terms of Russian war, they are using this as a tool, like an ecocide. If you remember the Nova Kakhovka Tam and what happened there, then it brings about huge natural disasters. So I think we also have to tackle that we don't have wars in Europe or in the world globally.
And yet, Prime Minister, one effect of the crisis in the early days of the Russia-Ukraine war was actually it led to Europeans suddenly deciding that they can conserve energy, that they can in your own country and in Germany and elsewhere, we can conserve. And yet all of a sudden we're not worried so much about that because the LNG supplies are coming in and we've worked out our alternatives. And I just wonder if one of the only benefits of this terrible conflict is actually we've lost it already. We've forgotten actually that actually we can conserve energy.
That is true. I mean, when Russia waged this energy war, then we all, I mean, Germany got rid of the Russian gas when they thought that it's not possible. I mean, we all toned down a degree in our heating, and we saved a lot of energy due to that. And we have to use this experience as well. I mean, if we think here, I mean, outside is so warm and you go inside it and it's freezing. If the air conditioning would be just 2 degrees up, I mean, we would be fine, but actually we could save so much of the climate and energy.
But I've heard that from a couple of my guests already say, why on earth are we not picking off that low-hanging, obvious fruit as a species?
I mean, I don't know. I can only talk to you about my own country, and we have done it. I mean, last year during the winter, we managed to save in the state institutions and ministries, and we managed to save 40% of our energy costs because we just took a down degree in the heating, and we survived. And we have cold winters, so.
Yeah, I've just been up in Scandinavia, not the Baltics, but I appreciate it. It's getting very cold up there again now. But I've actually been, I've done something terrible. I've actually gone and looked at social media because I saw a post of yours in the last 24 hours, and you were talking about twin transitions, and I'm very interested for you to expand upon that for our viewers.
For my country, when we got our freedom and independence back, then we had to build our country from scratch. That meant that we used the digital tools that were there. And now when we see the green transition actually going hand in hand with the digital transition, the data use, for example, how can we do this better? How can we use the resources that we have better? So I have had many meetings here with African leaders, for example, that we are also helping their digital transformation. So I mean, this goes hand in hand. If we don't use paper so much, then we can save also a lot of forests.
There is an accusation, and I think it's probably very fair, that Europe is once again just not moving quickly enough as well. And I've been trying to get to the bottom of this, whether it's a Commission problem, whether it's a country-by-country problem as well. Why do you think, once again, the rest of the world has stolen a march on the capital attraction? For instance, IRA, for instance, the speed with which China is moving on some products as well and some renewable technologies. I just fear that once again Europe is not moving quickly enough. Can you put your finger on why that is?
That is very simple. That is because we are all competing in the world. And when Europe is putting all these constraints that are good for the climate but are actually making the products less competitive if the other regions are not doing that. And I mean, we have economic downturn and everybody's worried about that. So how can we do this in an environmentally friendly way? And I actually think that there is a great business cause in being more environmental and being more environmental friendly because the consumers want it. And in the end, I mean, without the climate, without the globe, I mean, we don't have economy as well.
So let me ask you, as a country which is trying to push ahead with these twin transitions as well, is Estonia waiting for leadership from Frau von der Leyen, or actually just moving ahead regardless of what the Commission is doing on a European basis?
We are a small country, of course, and we still have a lot that we can do ourselves, but we also have to do this together. I mean, since we regained our independence, we have diminished our CO2 emissions by 57%. But we are a small country, like I say, so to have an impact, we have to do this together, and we have to consult, but also not only Europe, but also other regions, because this is also a fair point that if the production is cheaper elsewhere, where these environmental conditions are not followed, then the business moves there. But then we actually don't achieve what we want to achieve regarding the climate.